Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to thank my new subscribers and regular commenters. Let me send a special thanks to Philip Rowell, Stony Black, Red Arrows, Mark Williams, Muscle Car Guy, Shane Pimpkin, and Annie Young. I thank all of you guys. I believe all of you guys specifically, not only do you comment regularly, you watch, and you're a subscriber, I believe you own one of these mowers. If you have a John Deere Ztrak or zero turn Z900, that's the commercial grade John Deere commercial mower. It's not a matter of if this is going to be needed to do, it's not a matter of if this is going to happen to you or your mower. It's a matter of when it's going to happen. And what it is the clutch. In the frame of that mower from the factory, there is stamped in a flange that acts as the anti-rotation retainer for the clutch. And what happens is it's basically just a flange, and there's a little rod on the clutch. And what happens is it has to have a little bit of movement. And what happens is it eventually knocks out and wears out the flange metal that's in the frame and allows the clutch to spin. And if that happens, it can ruin your clutch, your wiring harness. It can cause some damage. You don't want that to happen. You want to catch that and prevent it before it happens. And on this particular unit, I think it has a little over 900 hours. It's a Z960, and I did do a video where I welded basically a bushing, a really thick bushing. But if you don't weld or you don't know a welder, there is a way. John Deere makes a bracket that will replace the original belt guide that's around the crank pulley, and also it replaces that flange that wore out on the John Deere factory frame. And so once you have to remove the clutch, you have to remove the drive pulley, and you have to remove the two front engine mount bolts, and there's a bracket. Now on this video, it's a Z960. So it took the less common bracket. I'm going to show you in the video the part number for both brackets, and I'm going to show you the other bracket is actually more common, but I'm going to show you the part numbers, and also in this video I'm going to show you where you can buy the clutch. If you need to buy the clutch, it's the manufacturer that makes these clutches, these PTO clutches for John Deere. I'm going to show you how you can save about $100 to $200 if you had to buy that clutch. So let's get started with the video. So here's our Z960M, and with 976 hours, it looks like. Fairly clean mower. What it originally came in for was an oil leak. You're going to notice a lot of oil on here, and that's why I didn't drive it before. I wanted to fix the oil leak first. There was an oil leak on this cooler hose. I'm going to show you here. This is before I made the repair. On that forward hose, there's a little hole, and I'm going to bump the key. I'm going to crank it over because when this unit was running, oil would just spray out everywhere. And this is just a side note. This isn't what the main topic is. I just wanted to show you guys what was going on with that oil cooler hose. So that's why it's so oily. So once I got it running, got it cleaned up, and then I could actually run the engine, I noticed I heard this noise when I engaged the blades. This unit is under warranty. And this is a common issue. That flange right there, like I explained before, wears out and causes a lot of problems. So what you got to do, remove the clutch. I take this bracket, I take that one nut loose, I loosen this one up just a little bit, take this one off all the way, get that out of the way. Then I want to take the wiring harness off. And I'm not sure if the clutch is bad yet or not. Like I said, this unit is under warranty.
So once I get the clutch out, I'm going to take the clutch off. I'm going to feel the bearings, and to remove the clutch takes a 16 millimeter. And once you get that wiring harness off there, just use an impact, back it off of there. Now that I have the clutch off, my next step to make this clutch anti-rotation for the clutch repair, I need to take the drive belt loose. So that's my next step. Get you a long extension. I've done this on some other videos. It takes a 1/2 inch. I usually use just a 3/8 ratchet, and I use a 3/8 to 1/2 inch adapter to go up there and release the tension, because we're going to have to remove that drive belt pulley that you see at the top left of your corner of the screen. So I'm going to have to remove that pulley. So I got to loosen up the belt. Piece of cake, very easy. And I'm just going to leave the belt on and in place. Remove that pulley. Sometimes it doesn't come off that easy. Make a note of which way the pulley went. Sometimes it'll say this face forward clutch. Sometimes it doesn't. This particular pulley, it didn't say either one, so I had to make note of that. Next thing to do is we got to pretty much prepare to grind this area. So you see these, you want to make sure before you start grinding you remove all that dead grass and anything, leaves that might catch on fire. So right now I'm taking a 14 millimeter and I'm removing the 2 forward engine mount bolts. Again, that takes a 14 millimeter. You will not need that washer, and you will not need that belt guide anymore. I'm going to show you why here in a moment. I'm going to give you the part number, and you need to prep to get ready to grind. You're going to need a 4.5 inch grinder to grind that flange down. So I'm going to get this wiring harness out of the way, push that out of the way, and get ready to grind that flange. Here's the flange number. If you go to Deere.com, know your model number, know your PIN number, that's the product identification number. You'll find this bracket oftentimes under the powertrain category. So next, I'm going to get ready to grind that flange down. I need it to be flat because I need to be able to put that plate on there. Basically, that's a product improvement plate. So what I'm doing is blowing out that dead grass, anything that might catch on fire while I'm grinding this flange down. And what I'm going to use is a 4.5 inch grinder with a 40 grit flat disc. And I'm going to go, you'll probably have to remove the handle, and this is kind of the only time I ever recommend removing the handle or grind without the handle. I'll remove the handle here in a moment, and because you need to be able to grind as flat as possible with that flat disc to make this look nice. It'll go fast. Just be careful not to get into that crankshaft, mess that up. Be aware of where you're sending those sparks. Make sure there's no gas around, anything like that might catch on fire. And you'll see how I'm kind of keeping the grinder as flat as possible relative to the surface that I'm grinding. Okay, because that way it'll give you, you're not dishing out the metal. And I'll kind of stop and look to kind of make a reference of what kind of progress I'm making there. It's going pretty well. This will work a lot smoother and faster, in my opinion. I only got about 20 years or more of welding and fabrication experience. I love these flat disc over like the regular just grinding wheel. Just does a lot smoother job. Actually does it faster, quieter, and smoother. It's the way to go. So once I get this grinded, and I just want this as smooth as possible. And again, this machine is under warranty, so I'm going to kind of go the extra mile. I want to make this machine as good as factory condition as possible. So I'm just going to kind of grind this nice and smooth. Now I'm left with some kind of sharp edges there in that hole. And you could take a burr bit, and what I grab right here probably isn't the best, but it's a little sandpaper wheel, like a flap wheel that I use with my grinder here. And I'm just wanting to take those sharp edges that are inside of that hole. I just kind of want to smooth those out, flatten them out. That's where my clutch stop bracket is going to go right there. See, it wore that flap disc out pretty quick right there. I'm going to prime it, and then I'm going to paint it. And then once this paint is nice and dry, I'm going to apply the factory bracket that replaces that anti-rotation hole plus the belt guide all in one bracket. And I will show you the other part number. The one that's more common, I'm going to show you that now. This is the part number for that bracket that's more commonly used, but check with Deere.com to confirm what you need for your unit. So right now, I've applied some blue Loctite to these bolts, and I'm putting those bolts back in position. And that bracket will take the place of that washer on that one side and takes the place of that belt guide on the other side. Now I'm going to put my drive pulley back on. Make sure you have the keyway. There is a keyway. Sometimes it stays on the crankshaft. So now I'm just going to put the drive belt, or traction belt as some refer to it as, back on. I'm going to check the make sure it's on the sheaves above the hydros. And right now I can see this one's off. I put it back in place. You do not want to crank this thing up with those belts out of place. So here's the clutch that came off of it. Now I'm going to have to replace this little bushing. I'm going to show you the part number. That's the part number for that little bushing. Now I think that's the same for all the units. And so this clutch is made by a company called Wagner. And they actually print the John Deere part number. Now that part number was the original part number. It was replaced with this part number. And the John Deere part numbers come stamped on the Wagner clutches, even though the box will not have that part number on at all. I'm going to show you that here in a moment. So that's the new replacement part number, that AUC number. Now here's the WagnerPTODirect.com. Here's the part number for this exact clutch. For that one right there. Now if you have a standard unit, I just got through doing one, if it needs that AUC 18086, go to that website, and the part number on that box was what you need. There's that old bushing I found, and also referring to part numbers, that's the wiring harness that comes with the new clutch. That's also the John Deere part number on that wiring harness. I'm going to have to remove that stud. It's not included with the other clutch, so you remove that. I believe it takes a 15 millimeter, and it's going to require a pretty thin socket to get past the flange of that clutch. I use these Husky. They're cheap, they're thin, and they're impact rated. I haven't broken one yet. They work out great. Fits right in there, really nice. So once you get that rod on there, the bushing, it's ready to install the clutch. I recommend putting some anti-seize on the crankshaft, and also on that, I guess that's a bushing is what it's called. So basically, I'm going to make a note of where that keyway is. I've got anti-seize on the crankshaft already. Time to install this clutch, and I'm making note of where that thing is in relation to the rod, the anti-rotation, or I call it the clutch stop rod. So I'm going to have to tuck my head underneath here and kind of make sure I'm lining up properly. I want to make sure I'm lining up that keyway properly, and then also as I slip it up into position, there's only one spot that will go for that hole for the anti-rotation rod. I'm going to show you that right here. Right, that's where you want to be. That's where we were just grinding. So now I'm ready to put the bushing and the washer in. And again, that takes a 16 millimeter. And I'm going to impact it down with my DCF, my 12 volt half inch DCF 901. If you're using something bigger, use caution. I know this isn't going to over tighten it. That's why I just go ahead and impact it down with that. Making sure everything's working right, feeling right, do a double check on that. And now I'm going to run the wiring harness up through the frame. Connect that, and you're going to need to run some zip ties. You're going to need to run a zip tie to that rod that you just bolted onto the clutch. I'll show you that here in just a moment. There's a little clip that goes on the frame. That's what I'm working with now. Sometimes it can be kind of a difficult, but it goes on the straight side of that slot there. Now it's time to put this back on, put that back into place. That's the belt guide. Again, this takes a 15 millimeter. I normally just use a 15 millimeter ratchet wrench, which I'm going to do right here. It's what kind of fits in there. It's kind of a tight spot. Make sure it's tight on the other side, and I'm going to put the belt back on. Here's where that zip tie will go. See that notch and that stud right there? I'm going to zip tie it right there. I'm going to show you here. Right there, and I'm going to clip that off. The zip tie works right there in the notch of that. That's how it comes from the factory, with the zip tie right there. And then for extra measure, what I do, this isn't factory, but I do this anyway. I go ahead and put another zip tie up here to make sure this clutch is zip tied right here to that main wiring harness. So that's going to wrap it up for this video. I'm going to leave you with some footage of showing this clutch in operation. I'm going to crank up this mower, engage the clutch on and off a few times. Hope you'll like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, comment, and I'll have more videos like this coming soon, guys. Thanks for watching.